The Scandal of Delilah, a modern Samson story. Samson Steele was more than just a fighter. He was a force of nature. Undefeated in the underground MMA world, his strength was legendary. Opponents fell before him like leaves in the wind, and no one knew his secret. What they didn't realize was that Samson believed his power wasn't just physical, it was divine. His long hair was more than a style. It was a covenant with God. But fame brings attention, and power breeds enemies. The city's corrupt mayor, Philip Castor, saw Samson as a threat. The people admired him, looked up to him, and in a city where power was bought and sold, an untouchable man was dangerous. So Castor devised a plan. If Samson couldn't be controlled, he would be destroyed. Delilah Monroe was a woman with ambition. A journalist turned social media influencer, she had spent years clawing her way to the top. But she wanted more. She wanted to break the biggest story of the year, the one that would make her a household name. Mayor Castor gave her that opportunity. Find out his weakness, he said, handing her an exclusive contract. Bring me his secret, and I'll make you a star. Delilah didn't hesitate. She approached Samson under the guise of doing a feature on his inspiring rise. She played the role perfectly, charming, curious, and seemingly captivated by his story. Samson, though strong in body, was vulnerable in heart. He had spent years fighting alone, never letting anyone in. But Delilah was different. She listened. She laughed at his jokes. She made him feel understood. And slowly, she wrapped him around her finger. Late one night, as they sat in her dimly lit apartment, she leaned in closer. Tell me, Steele, what makes you so powerful? Samson smirked, shaking his head. It's not just strength. It's something bigger, something sacred. Delilah played coy, running her fingers through his hair. Come on, everyone has a secret, even you. Samson hesitated, but trust had taken root, and his guard was down. It's my hair, he finally admitted. It's my covenant with God. As long as it remains untouched, I have the strength to overcome anything. Delilah smiled, but behind her eyes, the deal was already sealed. That night, as he lay asleep, she took a pair of scissors and severed his power. Samson woke to cold steel pressing against his wrists. He was bound, powerless. His head felt lighter. He looked down. His hair lay in shorn heaps on the floor. Victor Kane, the mayor's enforcer, loomed over him. So much for the mighty Samson. Blow after blow landed, and Samson, for the first time, felt pain that didn't fade. His strength was gone. He was dragged through the city like a fallen king, his disgrace broadcasted to the world. Delilah stood at a distance, watching. The fame she had chased now felt hollow. She had won, but at what cost? Samson was thrown into prison, left to rot in darkness. Days turned to weeks, then months. The world moved on. His story became just another scandal, another fallen hero. But in the silence, Samson did something he hadn't done in a long time. He prayed, God, if you still hear me, if I still have a purpose, give me one last chance. And deep inside, he felt something stir, a spark, a whisper of strength. The mayor wasn't done with him yet. He arranged a final spectacle, Samson's public humiliation in a fight he couldn't win. A packed stadium, roaring crowds, the city elites watching from their luxury boxes. Samson, weakened and chained, brought in as the entertainment. As the announcer mocked his fall from grace, Samson bowed his head. Lord, let me stand one last time. Then, like a fire igniting, the strength returned. With a deafening roar, he broke free of his chains. The fight turned into a reckoning. Corruption was exposed. The mayor's grip on the city crumbled, and Delilah, watching from the shadows, realized the truth. True strength had never been in his hair. It had been in his faith all along. Samson walked away from fame, from fighting, from everything that had once defined him. He found himself in a small, quiet church, sitting in the back row, head bowed. His father, Reverend Eli, stood at the pulpit. "Strength is not in the body," he said, "but in the soul." Samson closed his eyes, finally at peace. Delilah disappeared from the spotlight, her name fading into obscurity. And the city moved on, forever changed by the fall and rise of the strongest man they had ever known. Power corrupts, but faith restores. The mightiest man is not the one who fights in the ring, but the one who fights for his soul. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe.